Welcome everyone. I'm about to show you how I make my seafood boil and also my homemade sauce. I hope you guys enjoy this video. So when I make my seafood boil, I like my sausage to be cooked a little bit. I don't like to just put my sausage in the seafood boil pot. I like to fry them first. Not overly fry them, just slightly. I just like them extra cooked on the inside before I put them in a seafood boil pot for the seasoning and flavor. Now I have already prepared my pot of water with the Zatarain's liquid seasoning. It's a concentrated bottle of Zatarain seasoning. I put that in there with some garlic powder, onion powder, Old Bay, a little bit of seasoning salt, lemon pepper for my pot to start boiling. So right now I am washing my yellow potatoes. I chose yellow potatoes this time for my seafood boil. You can use either red or yellow potatoes. Yellow potatoes tend to cook a little bit faster than red potatoes. I don't like my potatoes too soft. I like them just right, not too hard and not too soft. I am rinsing these off so I can put them in my seafood boil pot. Here are my boiled eggs. They are cooling off so I can take the shells off later. This is one of the items that I usually boil first if I'm going to have eggs in my seafood boil. I boil this first in the water mixture with the Zatarain's shrimp boil seasoning. So they're cooling off right now. I have my yellow potatoes boiling at this time. These are my yellow potatoes. They take about 15 to 20 minutes. They don't take too long to soften up. I am washing my corn on the cob. I picked some fresh corn on the cob at the store. And so right now I am washing it. I chose to break it in half so I can have smaller niblets of corn. So my corn is looking delicious. Fresh corn. It is done. I don't like it too soggy. I want it soft but a little bit firm so it has that delicious taste. Yes, you guys, it's coming together. Right now I'm about to place my corn in my pan where all of my items that are cooked are going to be placed. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm putting my corn in the pan. So you guys, I am prepping my seafood. I have two types of shrimp. One is raw. This is the raw shrimp. So I peeled it, took the shells off. It was already deveined. I just took the shells off and the tails. And I have my crab legs. Prepping that as well. I'm about to put this in the seafood boil mixture in the pot. Guys, this is looking so good. You guys, it's gonna be so delicious. So I like to clean my shrimp. These have the tail on it, you guys, but these I took the tail off and the shell. This does not have the shell but just the tail, but it's deveined. Now if you happen to buy some frozen crab legs or shrimp, just place it under some cold running water and that will thaw it out quickly for your boil. I actually have two pans to put my food in. Once it's done, I put the sausage and corn on the cob together, and once my crab legs and shrimp gets completed, I'm going to put the shrimp on top of the sausage and corn. I want to put it on there. I have my eggs and potatoes in its own pan as well. Once everything is done cooking, I'm going to combine it all into one large pan to make up my seafood boil. So right now I'm about to prepare my seafood boil sauce. And because I have a large pan of seafood boil, I'm going to use 8 sticks of butter. Because I'm going to need enough sauce to pour over my seafood boil as well as some extra sauce to dip my food in. So again, I do not use measuring cups. I use sight, taste, and smell. So it would depend on how much seafood boil you are planning on cooking. If you have a small boil, 2 to 3 sticks will be enough. A medium size will be 4 to 5 sticks of butter. It's really up to you and your preference as far as how much sauce you're going to need for your boil. So in this case for me, I will be using 8 sticks of butter. I also used about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic and 3 cubes of ginger. That's underneath the butter. I already placed it in the pan. So with the 8 sticks of butter, I have about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic and 3 cubes of ginger. Okay, you guys, so here are the seasonings that I use for my seafood boil sauce. I'm going to be using some black pepper, Mrs. Dash, lemon pepper, Tabasco sauce, Cajun seasoning, lemon juice, Old Bay seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, ground paprika, cayenne pepper, oregano, Italian seasoning, some hot chili sauce. I have some hot sauce, apple cider vinegar, some Worcester sauce, and some brown sugar, you guys. So let me get started with my sauce. And also I'm going to be using butter. I can't forget about that. Butter and minced garlic and some ginger. When I'm preparing my seafood boil sauce, I put the stove on low heat to prevent it from splattering all over the place. So make sure you put it on low heat. And what I'm about to do right now, I've already showed you the different seasonings that I use for my seafood boil sauce. So I'm going to put each seasoning in front of the screen before I put it in the sauce. Now again, I do not use measuring cups, but I would just say to be safe, use about a tablespoon of each ingredient that I have displayed on the screen. You know, when you've been cooking for a while or you start cooking and you're using different seasonings, you kind of get an idea of what you can use too much of, what you can't use too much of. It kind of just comes with cooking in the kitchen. So, you know, I would say use about a tablespoon of each when you're preparing your sauce. And you're going to stir it occasionally because you don't want it to stick. That's why it's good to put it on low heat so it's not popping or sticking. Now, the only time I make large pans of seafood boil is for special occasions or holidays like Christmas. I'll usually make a large seafood boil for Christmas, but I decided to do a large seafood boil because I knew I was going to be doing a mukbang on YouTube and I wanted leftovers. So that's why I'm using 8 sticks of butter. Now, usually I will only have to use 1 to 2 sticks of butter because my boil is like a small medium size. So I will only do about 1 to 2 sticks of butter because I really don't like to use a lot of butter. This is the most butter that I've used because I have a large pan of seafood boil. Not only is it big, but it sits up pretty high. So this is definitely a sufficient amount of butter to make my sauce. I'm ready to cut up me some onions. I'm about to turn this down on very, very low. Very low. So you guys, I am big on cleaning as I cook. I have to clean up as I cook. I do not like a dirty kitchen while I'm cooking. So you'll notice that I am wiping down here and there. If something spills, any little thing, I am wiping it up. And I like to wash my dishes along the way as I'm cooking because I like everything to be nice and clean, not stacked up, not dirty. I don't like things in the way when I'm trying to cook. So you want to continue to stir your sauce and keep your heat on low. You want to keep the low heat. Now, I would encourage you at this point, once you've got all of your ingredients in the saucepan, you may want to start doing a little taste testing, because you may want it a little bit spicy. Maybe you want it a little bit more spicy, so you may have to add some cayenne pepper or some hot sauce, Tabasco sauce, whatever you choose, whatever your preference or liking is. You want to start taste testing, and that will give you an idea of what you possibly may need to add. So right now I am adding my onions, because honestly I forgot to cut my onions. Laugh out loud. I forgot to cut my onions, but it's okay, because I was going to put them in there with the butter as the butter was melting, but right now it's fine too, because the sauce is still cooking, which will give my onions time to get soft and not be hard, because I don't want them hard. You want your onions to be nice and tender in the sauce. But I would encourage you to put the onions in sooner. I actually forgot, and that's why you hear me talking to myself like, oh my God, I forgot the onions, because your girl forgot the onions. So I put the onions in. So right now I added some white sugar. I know I didn't have white sugar on the counter when I was going over my ingredients. I had some light brown sugar, but I wanted to add a little bit of white granulated sugar. So I did that, as you saw in the video. So at this point, like I said, you're going to start taste testing. This will give you an idea of what you need to use. Maybe you need to use a little bit more Old Bay or lemon pepper. So it's up to you. This is where your chef skills come in, until you get the sauce to your liking and the flavor that you so desire. Maybe you want it more spicy. Maybe you want it sweet and spicy. So whatever whatever rocks your boat, whatever you think is going to taste good with your boil, listen, go for it. Last but not least, once you're done with your sauce, you're going to pour some of the sauce evenly over your entire seafood boil. Then you're going to garnish your boil with a little bit of Old Bay, paprika, lemon pepper, Cajun seasoning, and parsley. And you can add some lemon slices if you choose. There we have it, you guys. I finished up my seafood boil sauce. It is to my liking and to my tasting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial of how I make my homemade seafood boil. So there you have it, a delicious seafood boil prepared by your girl Sheila. I hope you get an opportunity to make you a seafood boil, and they taste even better the next day when the seasonings have set in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care.